Howdy folks, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath the art villa found somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest. And today I'm coming to you with it's a cold, rainy day. It's a cold, rainy day, and I'm struggling not to, I'm just dealing, you know, it's May now, and it should be, well, you got to figure it's going to be, never mind. Anyway, there was a leak, and it's coming in, and I don't know, and I figured I had it fixed, and it's not fixed, so there you go. Okay, oh, and then, what happened? Static IP. Somebody hijacked my IP and sent spam using the IP in my email address. So people that have been getting this spam, apparently there's other, so my IP's been blacklisted somehow. I don't know how this works. So other people that want to send me email can't. They're getting it back. So how do I fix this? Well, I call my web host, who sends me to this site, what's my IP? And you go there and it pings your IP. And you know what the number is. And they have a list. I don't know, I didn't ask, but they have a resource they can go and find out that you've been blacklisted, okay? So how do you fix this? Well, you call your service provider, and what do they tell you? They tell you that it's a static IP, and I read this on this third-party site, that it's a static IP and you need to call your service provider. But my service provider, Insight, says they change it once a month, and but there's no schedule, and they just can't do it for someone. Like one of the people that subscribe to their service is having a problem, they just can't do that. But they would do it if I would upgrade my services. So if I upgrade my service, do I get like a dynamic IP? Well, no, it's still static. So it could happen again, and then where do I go? I could downgrade. I don't know. Why do I need to upgrade? Why do I need to subscribe to more services if what you're providing me is not working now? So I'm just like left. Have you ever noticed that you have to be? It's almost like you have to have enough knowledge that you could work for the company to solve a problem. Because when you call, if I just called and said, well, it seemed to work yesterday and now it's just a little bit, I don't understand. You're screwed, man. You're totally screwed because you never figure it out, because you'll never be able to press them in the right direction, you know, so they can go through their processes to figure out what is actually wrong. I went on and on and on about that, and I didn't mean to talk about that. I was meant to talk about this idea that I've been working with. There's a $60 painting here. And I did a $60 outsider artist, real fake outsider artist gallery segment on it. And I think I'm going to post it with the painting, which I'll put a link down here. But I don't think I'm going to, even though it's way shorter than this rant. Because, you know, you probably just get like real tired of it. Nobody's paying attention to them anyway. I think they're hysterical. I could make another 600 videos just with the dolls, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, I'm that obsessive. I might do that. So I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll do it anyway, but I'll just post them on the website. So it'll be a special treat for the people that are stumbling across the web and like, oh, this is kind of like, oh my God, come here, look at this. And then they'll watch 2 and 3 and say, then it's just the same. It's the same every time you open a painting. It's the same thing. $2. Ah. Anyway, the idea, I've been thinking about this because you know, when I draw, I watch TV, and then you get more ideas because TV is just full. It's just every minute there's a new absurdity. If you can peel back the layers of the fantasy, get to the absurdity, it's just absurd, 24 hours of absurdity right there in front of you. You don't even have to go out and investigate real life to find absurdity anymore. It's just right in front of you on the tube, as it always was, apparently, and since the early 50s or whatever, 1940. There were some pre-war TV sets, and never mind, I'm getting off track. Okay, well, this is like spurred by, there are 3 online services that advertise. There's some kind of service like findme.com, or people that are looking for me, and there are the dating services, okay? And then there's Ancestry.com, and all 3 of these are curious to me. And let's start with the Find Me. I think it's a woman sitting in bed, and she's like, oh, look, 7 people are looking for me. And so it's like they're playing to self-centered qualities in people. Man, but the idea that the universe revolves around you and people are focused on you, that's in everybody's head. So, that's like a subtle psychological tool they're using to get you to subscribe, because obviously people have to be looking for you, right? Because you're you, right? I love that one. Okay, and then on to the dating thing. I've never understood these dating things. So I've never done one. So I'm assuming that if you subscribe, you fill out, some kind of form, and you tell, there's some hardcore facts like how old you are and your sex. But other than that, I don't know how you could truthfully answer any other question, and how anyone could believe, even if you're trying to be honest, and we have the fantasy in our head that we are something else, okay? So that fantasy, which we think is our reality, is what you would put into the form. So you have all these people that have this fantasy about themselves, trying to hook up with other people that have the same fantasy about themselves, but it would never work, because you can see through the other person's fantasy, and you're able to see more of the reality of that person, and that's vice versa. And that's why dating service can't possibly work. I mean, for the most part, I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. And then you just have the people that obviously just kind of like lie. And I don't know why. Why would you do that? What would be the point? I mean, to obviously not to do it just naturally, because you don't get it yourself, but to lie on purpose because you think somebody's not going to notice that? Come on now. And then the third service that it's humorous to me, is Ancestry.com. It's another thing, another one of those services that makes you think that there's something about you that's special, like your ancestry. Well, it's interesting, right? But it's just a trick to make you feel important about yourself, so you'll give them money. So I'm saying, if you go on, and that's what this painting is, ancestpool.com, in that if you go back and find, maybe you're not going to like what you find. Like your relatives were serial killers or cannibals, or genetically deficient somehow, and then they passed it down because they didn't care. Like the people born with two heads, and you think that's a good idea, and you want to pass that down so your kid is born with two heads. Well, what happens if one head is just shrunken and dead? You're not getting like double the cranial mental capacities to figure out problems and get through life. You've got one good head and this other extra head just sucking the life out of it. Maybe it's retarded. It's retarded, and it's sucking. It would be horrible, and you want to pass that on? I don't think you want to pass that on. So, I don't, if you found that, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe Ancestpool.com would be a good thing if you knew genetically what you were made of, and you can make it. You can determine that it's not a good idea to pass along the traits to a new generation. That's what they should be all about,
Look at this place, it's full of great art. Hello! Hello, I'm Bambi. I'm your hostess here at the Real Fake Outside Art Gallery. Hello, Bambi. What do you think of these paintings? I think they're great! Yeah, you can work here at the Real Fake Outsider Art Gallery. What's going on with this painting today? Well, this is Manic Mark's statement on this one web service called Ancestry.com, Ancestry.com, and it's a service where you go and you look up your ancestors, and in this case this fellow finds that his great-grandpappy was a child rapist, serial killer. Child rapist, serial killer? That's great! That's right, and the town folks, they're pretty upset with him, and they go and they track him down, and they find him hiding in a barn, and they catch him, they take him out and lynch him to a tree, but he's not quite dead yet, and then they set him on fire. They set him on fire while he's alive? That's right! That's great! Yes, haha! And
And then they chop its body up and they feed it to his pigs to get rid of it.
That's great!
How much is it?
It's
$1,000. That's what I say. I don't know. It's too early in the morning for this crap. Turn the damn thing off. Turn it off.